Swinging a drive. Right field and deep. Back goes Aquino. It's got a chance. Gone. Get out the tape measure. Long gone.
Fly the W!
Cubs fans, it's time to fly the W with Dustin Rhodes and Paul Crawly Jean.
This is the Fly the W podcast, part of the Blue Wire Network. It's season number 4. It's episode 47, Crawly. The Cubs sweep the Halos. Don't forget to listen, download, subscribe. Most importantly, review the podcast. Follow on all our socials. I'm at Mully and Haw on X.
And you can follow me at Crawly's Cubs on X, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Crawly's Clubhouse on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. You can email us at crawlysclubhouse@gmail.com. And Dustin, my crystal ball, I looked in it very carefully. I said sweep, and you're welcome.
You said sweep. I said 2 out of 3. You were braver than me, Crawly, and congratulations for that. We didn't know when we were recording this the other day exactly how the pitching situation was going to go for either team, and pleasantly surprised, obviously, that the Cubs swept. And we'll get to game number 3 in a little bit, but very cool that the Cubs did get to face former teammate Kyle Hendricks in that third game.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit, about that possibility happening, and we got to see it, and I think it was really cool and a cool moment for a lot of his old teammates there. So before that game, though, we did have a roster move on Friday, and you saw there right there that the Cubs put Ryan Brazier on the 15 IL with a left groin strain. He's been awful in the month of August, Dustin. In 6 appearances, he's given up. He has an ERA of 14.40, and out of those 6 games, he only threw in scoreless inning one of those outings. So obviously something's just not right with the guy. And so Javier Assad comes up to make the start, Dustin. And here's the thing. He was only able to be called up because of the injury to Brazier, because when they sent him down earlier, the only way he could come up without waiting the certain amount of days was if there was an injury to the staff. And so that was a good one here, Dustin. But the game itself on Friday was notable for 2 Cubs players ending home run droughts. The first, Kyle Tucker. We did, our last episode, we had Jesse Rogers on. We were talking all about what in the hell's going on with Tuck, the injury, all of that stuff. He had one of the longest homerless droughts of his career. You could see it right there. In 2019, he went 27 games without a home run. This was 25 games. And Dustin, for me, it literally just felt like forever since he saw the guy make some good contact. But
it felt way more than 25, Crawly. I'll tell you that.
Right. And so the last time he homered was July 19th against the Red Sox, top of the first. This was a no-doubter, Dustin. He hit a 405 solo home run to dead center, put the Cubs up 1-0. Dustin, that was also his first extra base hit since a double on July 30th in Milwaukee. So you're almost
amazing. You talk about no slug.
Right.
Absolutely zero.
Over 3 weeks without an extra base hit. That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs had the bases loaded with no outs in the third with a chance to break it open, but Tucker struck out. Seiya hit a sac fly to make it 2-0. And cleanup hitter Justin Turner lined out to end the threat. Dustin,
wait. Can we go back to that for a second?
Yes, please.
Cleanup hitter Justin Turner. Cleanup hitter Justin. I'm okay with Justin Turner. I believe he has a role on this team, on this roster. You know what his role shouldn't be? Cleanup hitter during the start of a game. I don't care if the guy batted 500 in the past against the starting pitcher. That should not be happening right now.
No, I have no idea. We talked about this a little bit last episode about how, Owen Casey and Shaw had the bench on that Louis Brewers game. I don't know what it is sometimes with these managers, and falling in love with these veteran players. Justin Turner has a great career. Don't take anything about, anything away.
No, it's not an anti-Justin Turner thing.
You can still give him that pinch hit at bat, whatever. And if you want to start him a game, that's fine. But clean up Dustin, come on.
It's just lazy, right? I know it's not popular to say it. It's just lazy. Like my DH or first baseman has to bat fourth. What? If that's not the case, no, you're wrong. Sorry.
That was bizarre. That's all I can say. Just bizarre. I mean, and the other thing that we're taking a look at though is that in that situation, right? And it's not just Justin Turner. In that situation, bases loaded, heart of the order, you can't just get a sac fly. That's
Nope.
the kind of stuff that's been killing them,
Yep. Hitting with runners in scoring position is still kind of a thing.
Yep. Now Javier Sad was called up and started the game, and he had, to me, his best outing in an injury-marred 2025. Dustin, he sat down 12 of the first 13 Angels he faced. He had a no-hitter, right, going into late into the game. The only base runner that the Angels had was because of a hit by pitch in the fourth. But in the fifth, and former Southsider Yoan Moncada hits a solo home run. That cuts the Cubs' lead in half. For Assad, he would go 6 innings, give up 2 hits, walk 1, strike out 4. Again, we'll take that every day of the week. Every day of the week.
Absolutely.
Now, Moncada wasn't done. Bottom of the 7th, another leadoff home run. This time, Andrew Kittredge to tie the game at 2. It would stay tied until the 9th inning with 1 out. Former Dodger Ken Lee Jansen on the mound. PCA, who hadn't hit a homer since July 23rd against the Royals, he hits one to right center. Cubs lead 3-2. For PCA, Dustin, it was the first career go-ahead home run in the 9th inning or later. And the second such blast this season, Justin Turner did it. I was at that game August 3rd versus Baltimore. But all I'm going to say is that I watch Craig Counsell a lot, probably more than I really should like to. I mean, he doesn't have much of a
right. You're looking at body language, right? You're looking at who he's talking to, if he's covering his lips when the marquee TV cameras catch him, what's going on, right?
Right. But when you saw that PCA home run, he actually showed emotion, like real emotion. I think he needed it just as bad as the players did. He may not show it, but I think that came as such a relief.
Great observation. Great observation.
You saw him jumping up, pumping the fist, all excited. Daniel Palencia came in and shuts down the heart of the Angels order, striking out Mike Trout and Yoan Moncada. For the Cubs, Dustin, it was their 19th victory in one-run games. They're 19-13 this season. And if you remember all the times we talked about it last season, the Cubs lost 28 one-run games. I mean, it's just such a difference this year. It's a
big difference, right? Big difference.
And luckily it's been one of those games where you just sit there and you say to yourself, man, we need this. And so that takes us to game 2. And we didn't know who was going to start. Now, you said that Tommy Hotovy said Cade Horton was good to go last game that he was in. He had a blister. He came out.
We expected to make the Saturday start. Yes, that's what he told us.
And sure enough, he does make it. And so it was going to be Cade Horton versus Victor Medeiros. And in the month of August 9th, of the 21 games the Cubs had played, 9 of the 21 that they've played in August, Dustin, have been decided by 1 run. Almost half. Think about that. That would not be a problem, though. Saturday night, the Cubs pounded the Angels 12-1, hitting double-digit runs for the first time since beating the Brewers 10-3 on July 30th. Dustin, I love the 1-run wins, but every now and then a nice blowout win, you could just relax and enjoy the game.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, just sit back, relax. I even felt comfortable kind of dozing off, if I'm being honest.
It was those late night games. After snapping his 25-game homerless streak the day before, Kyle Tucker hit his 20 home run of the season in the 3rd. Michael Busch along for the ride. Chris Kompka had a really interesting stat on this one right here. How about this? With that home run, Kyle Tucker and PCA become the first 2020 hitters in Cubs history.
It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, as much grief as we're giving both these guys for kind of falling off the face of the earth since the All-Star break, still pretty impressive. It's just they started so damn hot.
Yeah, PCA 28 home runs, Kyle Tucker 20 stolen bases. PCA's got 30. Kyle Tucker's 25 with that hand injury. I don't know if he's going to be sliding into too many more bases.
Well, I would hope not. I mean, that's one of the things that I've been chirping about during the Mully and Haw show. David Haw and I arguing about the fact that I just don't see the reason why to put Kyle Tucker in motion as much as they do.
But if he does maybe he goes on a little hot streak. How about maybe he gets 30 home runs and what if we get 30-30?
Well,
Huh?
I honestly, Crawley, I don't, unless it's like the game on the line or some situation, I don't want him. The one that drove me the most nuts was back, they were up 5 runs and he stole home somehow and slid into home. It was very awkward. He got up awkwardly, looked not comfortable in the dugout afterwards. They had a 5-run lead when he was stealing home with that banged up hand. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it.
Right. And the Cubs weren't done scoring, though. Angels pitcher Victor Medeiros lost his control in the fourth, loads the bases on 2 walks and a hit by pitch. With 2 outs, Ryne Sandberg picked a great time to hit his first career grand slam to put the Cubs up 6-0.
Well, that's when I felt comfortable for the record, Crawley. That's when I kind of, started, all right, it's okay. You can go to sleep now.
There you go. Cubs added 4 more in the 6th. Michael Busch hit an RBI single. Kyle Tucker hit a 3-run blast. That was his first multi-home run game as a Cub to put the Cubs up 10-0. The Cubs would score 2 more runs in the 7th on a double by Dansby Swanson and a sac fly for Ryne Sandberg, who tied his career high with 5 RBIs. Dustin, that game marked the first time since May 14th, 2000 that the Cubs had multiple 5+ RBI performances in the same game.
Another crazy stat that I did see.
You saw this one, so you know who the 2 guys were.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do.
Sammy Sosa and Henry Rodriguez, H-Rod.
The old Henry Bar. The old Henry Bar guy. Very excited. He was very popular when they signed him. I thought he was going to be just a great addition to that team. And how about Ryne Sandberg, right? I mean, the guy's had a really productive year. I mean, the Cubs have been blessed with kind of a log jam at the catcher's position.
Yeah, and it's absolutely, I mean, Carson Kelly's been better than advertised, Ryne Sandberg better than advertised, and then they've played the season pretty much without Miguel Amaya.
Right, and you can't put Ryne has no more options. So if you put him out there, he's going to get grabbed in a second.
Dustin, they say chicks dig the long ball, but with all the offensive fireworks going on, it was Cade Horton that was the most impressive. I mean, last time we saw him, he's coming out of the game, blister on the finger. We're all nervous, but he erased any doubts with the way he pitched on Saturday. How good was he? He pitched 6 shutout innings, gave up only 3 hits, did not give up an extra base hit, struck out 7 Angels, including Mike Trout, 3 times. How happy is Mike Trout to see the Cubs gone?
Yeah, who is this Mike Trout guy? I mean, boy, did he have a rotten time against them.
Woo. And in the first 3 innings of the game, this blew my mind. He only threw 1 ball.
Yeah, I think he had 23 straight strikes.
I mean, he was just filling the zone.
Yeah, attacking it. He got a lead, and he attacked it.
Right, and he has a .49 ERA in 7 starts since the All-Star break. Ben Brown would pitch the final 3 innings, giving up 2 hits, one of them a solo home run. Cubs win 12-1. For, again, we said Ryne Sandberg, he had his first grand slam. And for Ben Brown, because he pitched 3 innings, even though it was a blowout, that counts as a save. So that was the first career save for Kyle Hendricks.
I saw this today.
For Ben Brown.
Ben Brown. I saw this today. Cade Horton, now your betting favorite for National League Rookie of the Year.
Yep. We'll get to that in segment 2.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, he's great. But I think the one thing we were super excited about was to see Jameson, Tyone, and Kyle Hendricks.
JMO's back.
And how great was it? I think Marquis did a great job really kind of interviewing Kyle, and it was just the way that he spoke. I know that Kyle Hendricks had a 1 goal, and that was to get to 100 victories. He has that. I don't know if he has it in him to go another year next year. I'm really hoping that he shows up at the Chicago Sports Spectacular for the 10-year anniversary. I know Rizzo and Hayward are going to be there in Rosemont in November. I hope that Kyle Hendricks will also be there. But I thought, just the way that he talked about the way he talked about the Cubs organization and his time there was really cool.
Yep, he was very, very thoughtful in his responses. I thought the same thing.
But I struggled looking at him in a red uniform. That brought me back to the days seeing Rick Sutcliffe, Lee Smith, John Lester all in cardinal red. It's jarring.
It looked a little weird, but it wasn't cardinal red. At least it was halo red. A little different.
Halo red,
a little bit different.
Now Hendricks, 11 seasons he played with the Cubs, 276 appearances, 97 and 81 with a 3.68 ERA. I mean, I was there a game 6 in the NLCS where he was just absolutely dominant. I saw him pitch in game 3 in the World Series. And then of course, game 7 starter. He is going to be in the Cubs Hall of Fame at some point in time in the future. I don't know, how long along the line, but I have a feeling he'll be there. But to me, Dustin, as much as you love the guy, Hendricks looked a lot like he did in his last year with the Cubs, right? Top of the third, he does good for the first couple innings. Then the top of the third, Matt Shaw doubles, scores on a Kyle Tucker RBI single. He stays hot. Top of the fourth, Ian Happ walks, scores an RBI double by Nico Horner. The Cubs were able to knock Hendricks out in the 5th, loading the bases with 1 out. Another former Cub, Andrew Chafin, the sheriff, comes out of the pen.
How about that? Kyle Hendricks to Andrew Chafin. It's like, what is going on?
I loved it. He gave up a sac fly to PCA and a single to Carson Kelly. Here's that catcher thing again. Cubs take a 4-1 lead for Kyle. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. That's what we were used to when he was playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it felt like that lead should be comfortable. Jamison Tyone on the mound was just mowing him down. Now, he did give up a first-inning homer to Taylor Ward, but after that, he was in control. He just gave up 2 more hits, 1 an infield single. No runner got to second, but it wasn't a quality start. Tyone was pulled in the 5th inning, Dustin, and everyone was kind of questioning what the heck. We knew it was really hot out there. Counts would say after the game, little groin tightness. Hopefully it's nothing big. First out of the pen was Andrew Kittredge. He was picked up at the deadline. You remember that. He gave up a home run on Friday. Well, he had his innings on Sunday as well. He gave up a single to Zach Nato, who stole second, struck out Mike Trout because who didn't? And then Kittredge got Joe Adele to ground out. But with 2 outs and a runner on third, Dansby Swanson committed an error on a ground ball off the bat of Luis Renigivo and run scored. It was now you're talking about a 1-run ball game. And so now you got the nerves going in there, but Caleb Thielbar and Brad Keller shut it down in the 7th and 8th. Daniel Palencia gets the ball in the 9th. He gives up a leadoff single, strikes out Travis d'Arnaud, walks Yohan Moncada, winning run at first base, but Palencia strikes out the next 2 batters to get the save. Cubs win 4-3. They get the sweep. Dustin, how long did it take for your heart rate to get down after that?
That was a little nerve-wracking. That was a little nerve-wracking with Palencia.
And next time you talk to Tommy Hotovy, ask him. I'd be curious to hear Tommy's, answer of the fact that, when he gets runners on base, does Palencia sometimes tend to overthrow? He's a young guy. I know he has a little heat. But I mean, I wonder if that's what Tommy Hotovy, when he goes out there, just says, take a couple breaths, slow yourself down, because he has the stuff, Dustin. He has the heat.
No doubt.
He has good movement on his pitchers. But when I see him, when it seems to be like a tight situation, he tightens up a little bit. And I just think he's trying so hard. He wants to do so well. But when he starts overthrowing, that's when he gets in trouble. And I think Tommy does a good job and the catchers too, of going out and talking to him. But it's just one of those things when you have a young, inexperienced closer now just for the record, Palencia closed plenty in the minor leagues. But even then, I mean, to me, it is just, it's going to take some time for him to keep that heart rate down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I think he's kind of grabbed the job. I remember in spring training, they were looking for somebody on that staff to grab a hold of that job. There was no like, this guy's going to be the closer coming out of spring training. So he has done that, but he's walking a tightrope. There's no doubt about that.
All I can tell you though, Dustin, is the story coming into the series was Kyle Tucker, and the story coming out of the series was again Kyle Tucker. He went to Anaheim, went 5 for 12 with 3 home runs. I mean, I know he has a good record in that ballpark. Good record in that ballpark as far as hitting is concerned. But how all of a sudden does he come from not being able to hit a ball in the outfield to absolutely dominating with 3 home runs? I mean, what do you think it was for him?
No idea. I mean, a combination of a lot of things. He got the break. He got away from the Boo Birds. He likes hitting in that ballpark. He's had more, the 3rd most at bats he's ever had are in that ballpark. Houston, Chicago, and Anaheim. He was comfortable. At night, the ball jumps a little bit in Anaheim. So I think it's a combination of all those things.
I wonder if that's going to be on his list when
would you pinpoint it? I mean, is there something you would pinpoint or?
We talked to Jesse last episode and, he mentioned that it's healing. maybe it's healed. The only thing that irritates me more than anything, Dustin, is that last game against Milwaukee that we talked about, because I feel like the change of scenery, being able to take a breath, right? Not worried about the fans grumbling every time you ground out, booing. I don't know if it affected him that bad, but I think he was pressing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it would have been just smarter to keep him out that last game, get him one more day of rest. I think that would have been the best mistake. I think that was on Craig Counsell. I think he should have just said, look, you crushed the ball in Anaheim. We're going to get you back in that lineup. Let's just kind of clear your head, enjoy, relax, etc. But I'm still irritated that it took, this long for, when you could have easily just had an IL stint, maybe had it heal after 2 weeks, let Casey and Willie Castro, take some at bats. To me, it was just ridiculous. And I'm frustrated that it happened. I don't know if we'll ever get answers. I'm going to ask questions at CubsCon. I'm already got a few. But to me, that was frustrating, but I'm hoping that this is it. I hope Kyle Tucker, I don't know if you remember, after the All-Star break, I felt that Kyle Tucker was going to take off. I thought that he was going to have a dominant stretch in the second half, and it's been anything but that. So maybe now that we know that he was injured with the hairline fracture, now if it's healed and he's feeling comfortable, it's not too late. I mean, I don't know if he's going to go and have the second half I thought he would. But again, if you can get 30 home runs, 35 home runs, if he can, go on a streak where he starts popping off another 10 to 12 home runs and starts causing damage, because the other guy we got to talk about, Seiya Suzuki, is ice cold.
Oh boy, I bet he's on that cold list, Crawly. I bet he's coming up on that cold list.
I'm just saying, if Kyle Tucker starts warming up, maybe that gives Seiya more opportunities. That's my only hope right now.
This is the Fly the W podcast, part of the Blue Wire Network. It's episode 47 of season number 4. The Cubs sweep the Halos. Don't forget to listen, download, review, subscribe to our Fly the W podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. You can email us at crawleysclubhouse@gmail.com. Don't forget you can watch us, as some of you are right now, live, Crawley's Clubhouse YouTube page. All right, Crawly, after a Sunday sweep and the Brewers dropping 2 or 3 to the Giants, how did the standings look?
Well, all of a sudden, Dustin, it all of a sudden looks a lot tighter, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Back to 5.
5.
Should be 3, but it's back to 5.
How about this, Dustin? Entering play Tuesday, the Cubs were 9 games back of the NL Central.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are on Monday, and it's you're talking about 5. Again, going back to the irritation of that game that Counsell put in the getaway day lineup. But with the sweep of the Angels, the Cubs are a season high 21 games over 500. Now, the wild card, when we look at the wild card,
they're 8-2 in their last 10. That's the best in baseball right now.
They are 8-2 in their last 10. And if you look at the Brewers are 4-6. I felt a little bit bad. I want the Cubs to obviously pass the Brewers, but they had such an amazing ceremony for Bob Uecker. Anyone who loves baseball, you cannot not love Bob Uecker. I may not like Brewers fans or the Brewers organization, but Bob Uecker really was a special guy. And I think that's something that's really, they had a great ceremony, and then the Brewers choked the game. So again, eventually it all evens out, Dustin. You're not going to get all the breaks all the time. And this may be a point now where the Brewers end up in a situation where they start dropping some games. Taking a look right here, we got some comments here. Larry Beck says, when are they going to sit Suzuki for a couple games? That's a mighty good question. If you're going to be facing a righty, could you potentially let Suzuki rest and then have Owen Casey DH? Keep him hot, right? That's a good question. He does not look right, or who knows if there's a secret injury hurting with him. But, I think this is exciting. I think that the Cubs very much are still in the division hunt. And then when you take a look at the wild card, they're up 6.5 games right there. Yep. The Dodgers and Padres. I mean, that was an incredible series if you had a chance to watch any of that.
What a race that's going to be between those two.
And the Mets are struggling a little bit, and then the Reds are struggling a little bit. So you got these teams right here. The Padres, the Mets, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, all 5-5. The Cardinals, they're starting to fade. And then the Cubs' next opponent, the Giants, are 4-6.
Is there anything better to say than that? The Cardinals are beginning to fade.
beginning to fade, but what we need is for the Diamondbacks to get fired up because they're going to be taking on the Brewers next.
4-game set, right? 4-game set.
Yes, sir. My favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we take a look at this, Dustin, we did have the roster moves. I know we talked about Assad coming in for Ryan Brazier. Assad pitched amazing, and then he gets sent back down. So left-hander Jordan Wicks, your guy, Dustin, your guy, Jordan Wicks.
Maybe they don't hate Jordan Wicks.
Maybe they don't. He is back with the team. Now, the thing we have to kind of start worrying about a little bit here is we talked a little bit about Tyone coming out in the 5th, and they said left groin tightness day to day. He felt a groin cramp as he warmed up in the 5th inning. He's going to be evaluated throughout the week. Pat and Ron were talking about the heat in Anaheim on Sunday.
Sunday was really hot. Yeah.
So hopefully that was it. Just some bananas and Gatorade. I don't know what, but I wonder, is he going to be able to make his next start? Or do you give Jordan Wicks or Ben Brown the start?
Yeah, to be determined, right? To be determined.
Miguel Amaya has his left ankle sprain. He is on a treadmill. He's weeks away from a return, which is expected in September.
Well, I didn't think we'd see him again this year, so it'd be pretty neat that he gets back at all.
How about Michael Soroka? Do you wonder what happened to that guy?
Woo!
He has that right shoulder strain. He's August 5th, 15-day IL. He's expected mid-September. He played catch on August 14th. He's going to throw off a mound in San Francisco on August 26th. It always makes you feel good when they're throwing off the mound, right?
Yep, that's a good indication. That's a good step.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know if he's going to be making it back. We do
is he throwing a football in the outfield, Carl?
Right? Or maybe the towel drill. Where's Larry Rothschild? I'm looking, Dustin, though, and there was some news. Obviously, on Friday was the Ryne Sandberg memorial. He was laid to rest. And Dustin, I want to tip the hat to the Cubs organization, Marquee Network, 670 The Score. I thought everybody did a really great job covering this. We've seen a few of these, Harry Carey and Ernie Banks and Ron Santo. I think with Rhino being more of a private kind of guy, I think it was more of and the fact that he died younger than those other guys made it more of a melancholy ceremony. Do you agree with that?
I do wholeheartedly. Very melancholy. It was put on well. Hopefully they raised a lot of money for the charity. I think it was a food bank that they were looking into. So I hope Cub fans were able to donate whatever they could to that good cause.
I do think that Bob Costas did a great job in his eulogy. It's amazing to me the way that those guys are just interlocked.
So connected, right? So connected.
The Sandberg game, the NBC game of the week, and that call. And I remember Costas being there at the Sandberg statue dedication ceremony as well. Yep. And so I think he did a great job. And a lot of what he said is the way that, just everything about Sandberg. I just really have a hard time with this. I'm still having a hard time. I feel sometimes like I wake up and it just kind of feels like a bad dream. And, the whole time I've ever been a Cub fan growing up, there's always been
part of it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sandberg was a part of it, but there's also always been kind of these legendary Hall of Fame figureheads, right? You had Ernie Banks was kind of that patriarchal figure. Yep. And then you'd go Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Andre Dawson, or Ryne Sandberg, and then you kind of move your way down. But I mean, when you
who is it now? Who is it still too early to talk about that?
I think Billy's still the patriarchal leader of there, but he's much, much older and he's much slower than he used to be.
Right.
Fergie, still around. But to me, when those guys go, I feel like that there's such a void that Sandberg's death leaves. As far as who's going to be, there's a lot of guys that are very, Cub centric, whether you're talking about Sammy or Rick Sutcliffe, Mark Grace, there's guys still out there. But to me, like when you talk about legendary Hall of Famers, to me, Sandberg would have been that guy that would have been like any Cubs con. It was always Ernie Banks that was the last guy called. Right. And then later on, it would be Billy, like those were the guys, that there was kind of like a hierarchy, a pecking order. And now all of a sudden this just kind of throws it all into the void. And I feel like it's difficult, but like I said, prayers to the Sandberg family. You saw, I mean, that was a big thing, was you saw how much family meant to him if you watched the funeral, and all his grandchildren and children and everything, and his wife. Just can't even imagine what they're going through right now. Dustin, you talked a little bit about this earlier. How about right now? I don't know if you saw this story in Marquee by Nicholas Moreno. Sorry if I'm butchering that like Harry Carey here, but according to FanDuel Sportsbook, Horton is the leading candidate for the award at 160. Milwaukee's Brewer left fielder Isaac Collins, he's really good, second at 180. Atlanta Braves catcher at third, Drake Baldwin, he's at plus 200. And so the DraftKings Sportsbook has it, Horton 140, Collins 180, Baldwin 240. The FanDuel Sportsbook has a three-man race with the next closest player, Matt Shaw, at plus 3,000.
How about
that?
I mean, Matt Shaw's in the equation.
Matt Shaw is in the equation. But when you take a look at what Cade Horton has done, how about this one that Marquis put up there? Fewest runs allowed in a 7-start span since 1901. You got Ed Rulbach in 1906 and 1908, both World Series years, had 3 runs in a 7-start span. Jake Arrieta, in that amazing run that he had, did it 3 runs in a 7-start span. John Lester, 2016, 3 runs in a 7-start span. But Cade Horton is now number 1 on that list. In 7 starts, he's allowed 2 runs.
Good company for him to be in again. Yep.
That to me, Dustin, is unbelievable. He's got an 8-4 record, 2.88 ERA, 77 strikeouts, a 116 WHIP. I mean, to me, when he first got called up, I think it was Suzuki injury, right? And after May 4th in Milwaukee,
yep.
He came up and he looked good against the Mets, but I wasn't blown away. Like, it wasn't a Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski, anything like that. You know what I mean? It didn't blow you away. But every single start, he seems to be better and better and improving more and more. And he looks like a bona fide ace. And Dustin, you got to ask yourself, if the playoffs started tomorrow.
Great question here, Crawly. Great question.
If the playoffs start tomorrow, who's your number 1? Who's your number 2? Who's your number 3?
Right. You'd have to first thing, who are they playing? Right. How important is it to break up the lefties? Is that a thing, or is that too old school? I got to tell you, right, it would be Shota still for me. It would be Shota. I mean, I'm a prisoner of the moment. Cade Horton would be right there. And, unless Matthew Boyd is super special Tuesday night, Boyd would be number 3 right now. But I think you could go. I think you could go with any of the 3 and feel okay to win a game.
Pick them out of a hat.
But it depends. Is it really important to break up the lefties?
Something about Horton, though, it's that bulldog mentality that really reminds me of John Lester. We're just talking about Lester, where I feel like I know it would be hard to give the kid the ball in game 1. Usually that's a veteran, this and that. Yep. But boy, he is just impressing me. You remember the last Cub pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year, the only Cub pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year.
Cub pitcher win Rookie of the Year. Is it? Let's
see if anyone puts it in the chat.
I don't think it's the calf. I don't think it's a recent ilk, right? I don't think it's the Dodgers pitching coach now. He was not the Rookie of the Year.
Mark Pryor was not the Rookie of the Year.
He was not the Rookie of the Year. I mean, I think we got to go all the way back to the last Cub with the perfect game. Is it that long ago? I don't know. You stumped me, Crawly.
I stumped you? Yeah. All righty. How about if we take a look at this? Kerry Wood.
Okay.
1998 Rookie of the Year. And
20 strikeout game helped that out, right?
Yep. He is the only Cubs pitcher to ever win Rookie of the Year. So maybe Cade Horton joins that elusive group.
That'd be very cool.
But I got to say,
that would be excellent. I'm just upset that I didn't jump on that train earlier from a betting perspective, right?
Right. But absolutely fun. And hopefully, like I said, he keeps it rolling.
This is episode 47 of season number 4. The Cubs did indeed sweep the Halos as Crawly predicted, and you're listening to the Fly the W podcast, part of the Blue Wire Network. You can listen, you can download. We'd love you to review and subscribe. 5-star reviews, keep them coming. Email us, crawlysclubhouse@gmail.com, and you can watch us, as some of you are right now, live on that Crawly Clubhouse YouTube page. All right, Cubs Giants Tuesday night in San Francisco, where that flower in your hair, Crawly, if you're going out there.
And again, be ready, because it's always, to me, it's an interesting park. I will never forget that park just because of 2016, the NLDS, and some of those moments there. But the Giants have had a disappointing season so far. They are currently 63-68, 11 games behind the Dodgers and Padres in the NL West, and 6.5 games back of the final wild card spot. The Giants started out hot, Dustin, going 19-12 in March and April, but they haven't had a winning month since then. They finished May and June 13-14. July was worse. They went 9-15. And so far in August, they went 9-13. Now, the Giants did take 2 out of 3 against the Cubs in Wrigley in May. The Cubs took game 1 9-2, but lost the next 2 games. The one I remember because I was there, that middle game when the Cubs were down 5-3 in the 9th. They come back to tie it up thanks to RBI singles by Justin Turner and Kyle Tucker. You remember this? The 11th inning? Ryan Presley gave up 9 runs. The Giants scored 2 more for 11-run inning, the highest scoring 11th inning since 1900. It was just to be in there was just miserable. Sitting there watching, it was like batting practice. That would be really kind of the end of Ryan Presley as a starter for this team. He did close a couple more games, but not really. And the Cubs would drop the finale 3-1. One big difference, though, Dustin, in the Giants lineup since the Cubs last saw him, Rafael Devers, who the Giants acquired in a trade with the Red Sox. Remember, he was unhappy that they got Alec Bregman, and then they wanted him to move to DH and all this thing, and he got mad, and they finally traded him. The Giants are 4-6 in their last 10 games, but took 2 of 3 from the Brewers, which thank you very much, San Fran.
Thank you very much.
Definitely
Thank you very
take
much.
that, right?
Yep.
They are 30-33 at home and 34-38 against teams with a winning record. They're going to be without starting pitcher Landon Raup, who's out with a knee inflammation after his last start. So he was there when the Cubs played them last time. He will not be here this time. So we shall see what happens, but we know that we will not see him.
How about a little tail of the tape? There it is. There's the ball. Tail of the tape.
Okay, tail of the tape. When we take a look at the tail of the tape, remember, we're looking at the last 3 weeks. We're not looking at the whole year. The Cubs were a different team in April, May than they were in July and August. So this is considering the last 3 weeks for both teams. Batting average, you got 2 teams that aren't hitting. The Angels are 27th, hitting .219. The Cubs, 29th, batting .215. So that average still not there. Neither is the slug, but the Angels aren't much better. Angels are slugging 25th. The Giants are 25th. They are .376, while the Cubs are slugging .346, which puts them in 29th in slug. Runners in scoring position, the Giants are 24th at .233, while the Cubs are 27th at .226. But, Dustin, starting pitching is the difference. The Cubs,
big difference.
Huge. The Cubs in the last 3 weeks have the best starting pitcher ERA in the last 3 weeks, 2.58, while the Giants are 20th at 5.02. As far as bullpen, the Cubs have the better bullpen. They are 7th in reliever whip in the last 3 weeks at 119, while the Giants are 10th at 124. And then in fielding, the Cubs are a much better fielding team. Remember, fielding DRS is compiled over the year, not in the last 3 weeks. So the Cubs are second in all baseball with 69 defensive runs saved, while the Giants are 17th with 11. So when it comes to hitting, they're very similar teams. But when it comes to starting pitching, the Cubs have the edge on that one.
Very good. Listen, pitching and defense is what this Cubs team is relying on right now. So that takes us to game 1. We found out earlier today that it'll be Matthew Boyd, Justin Verlander. It's about an 8:40-ish start time.
8:45 Central Time. Cubs All-Star Matt Boyd takes the mound in game 1. Big lefties 12-6 with a 2.61 ERA, 25 starts, 129 strikeouts, and 148 innings pitched. On August 8th against the Cardinals, he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. Against Toronto on 8/14, he gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. I know you were thrilled about that home run to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And in his last start against the Brewers,
still trying to figure out why they pitched to him in that spot. Somebody's got to explain it to me.
In his last start against the Brewers, he gave up 4 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Dustin, Boyd has only given up more than 3 runs 3 times this season. 2 of them were against the Brewers, so I don't know. They got his number. Boyd has only made 1 start in his career against the Giants. That was 2025, and he picked up the win. Willie Adames has seen Boyd the most. He's 1-12 against Matt. Wilmer Flores 2 for 6, and Rafael Devers 1 for 6. So they don't really hit Boyd well, so that's good. For the Giants, you got future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander taking the mound, but Dustin, he doesn't look like a Hall of Famer right now.
No.
He is 1-10 with a 4.64 ERA, 99 strikeouts, and 110 2/3 inning. On August 10th, he gave up 5 runs on 11 hits against the Nationals. He bounced back in his next start against the Rays, pitching 7 shutout innings. His last start against the Padres, he gave up 7 runs in 4 1/3 innings. Verlander's 2-0 lifetime against the Cubs with a 2.35 ERA and 4 starts, but this is not the same Justin Verlander. Justin Turner's 1 for 14 against Verlander. Dansby 2 for 7. Nico 3 for 5, though. Verlander throws a 4-seamer, slider, curve, and a changeup.
Game 2, Colin Ray taking the ball for our Cubs. Another 845er.
Yes, Colin Ray, 10-5, 3.96 ERA in 26 games. 22 of those starts with 93 strikeouts and 127 1/3 innings. Colin's been pitching really well lately. On August 9th, he gave up 1 run in 6 innings against the Cardinals. On August 15th, he gave up 1 run in 5 innings against the Pirates. And his last start against the Brewers, he gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Colin is 1-3 lifetime against the Giants in 5 career starts with an 8.31 ERA. It's even worse when you look at Ray's record at Oracle Park. He is 0-2 with a whopping 11.70 ERA. The Giants don't have a lot of at-bats against Ray, but Matt Chapman's 3 for 5. Heliot Ramos, who hit the game-winning hit versus the Milwaukee Brewers on Sunday, and then is 2 for 4, and Patrick Bailey's 3 for 3. So hoping that Colin can turn around his bad luck at Oracle Park there.
And for the Giants, Crawly?
That will be rookie Carson Weisenhout. And so Carson is pitching. Remember we said that Landon Raup is out with that knee injury. So we got this rookie here. He's 24-year-old lefty. He's 1-1 with a 4.91 ERA.
Lefty.
Yep. Made his debut on July 28th. On August 3rd against the Mets, he gave up 1 run in 5 1/3 innings. On August 9th against the Nationals, he gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. And in his last start against Milwaukee, he gave up 2 runs in 4 innings. So hasn't made it past 4 innings the last 2 starts. So this is the first time the Cubs are seeing Weisenhunt, and no one on the team has any at-bats against him. He features mainly 3 pitches: a sinker, a changeup, and a slider.
All right, very good. The third game will be on Thursday, Crawly.
Yep, Shota Imanaga versus Logan Webb. How about that for a pitching matchup? Shota 3.03 ERA in 19 games started, 90 strikeouts and 110 innings pitched. On August 10th against the Cardinals, he gave up 3 runs in 6 2/3 innings. On August 16th, he gave up 1 run in 7 innings against the Pirates. And in his last start against the Brewers, he was the tough luck loser. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits over 7 innings. Shota has only faced the Giants once. He gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, and he got a no decision. None of the Giants have more than 3 at-bats against Shota.
And for the Giants, Crawly, these are all night games, by the way, all evening games.
Great. Logan Webb was an all-star for the Giants this season. He's 12-9 with a 3.13 ERA and 27 starts with 180 strikeouts in 166 2/3 innings. Webb struggled on 8/11 against the Padres, giving up 4 runs in 6 1/3, but he's bounced back in his last 2 starts, 7 shutout innings against the Rays, and he gave up 1 run in 6 innings in his last start against the Brewers. Webb is 2-1 lifetime against the Cubs with a 4.05 ERA and 4 starts. The Cubs struggle against Webb. Ian Happ has the most success. He's 4 for 11. Nico might want the day off. He's 1 for 10. Dansby 3 for 18. but Webb is a big strikeout pitcher, and he doesn't issue many walks, mixes his sinker, sweeper, and changeup. So this is, Dustin, it's going to be, for me, key that the Cubs take these first 2 games. Whatever, you always want the sweep. You want to get a little bit selfish there, but you got to take Justin Verlander with a 1-10 record, and you got to take this rookie, and then you don't have to worry that much about Logan Webb. That would just be the cherry on the sundae if you get the job done early.
All right, your lips to God's ears, the baseball God's ears. Who's hot, who's not for the Cubs? I know who's definitely got to be on the not list. That's Seiya Suzuki. We talked about that earlier. But who is on the hot list right now, Crawly? Kyle Tucker.
Really heating up.
He's on a heater.
Let's see who's on a heater right there. Michael Busch is on a heater. How about Busch? When you talk about Michael Busch, he is 9 for his last 28 with 6 RBIs, slashing 321, 367, 429. Matt Shaw, 5 for his last 16. He's got a double, a triple, a home run, and an RBI. 3 strikeouts to 3 walks. You love to see that. Slashing 313, 421, 688 slug. And Kyle Tucker, 5 for his last 16 with a double, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. He's slashing 421, 313, 421, and 938. You were asking about the not list, Dustin. Not good. You got Dansby Swanson, 4 for his last 22, 182, 308, 318. PCA, 4 for his last 25 with 1 home run, 3 RBI, slashing 160, 179, 320. And Seiya Suzuki at the bottom of the list, bottoming out here, 3 for his last 25, 1 RBI. He's slashing 120, 258, 120 in the last week.
All right, so what do we got to do? Cub fans, Crawly, give us an update. Who should we be worried about?
When you talk about the Giants, you should be worrying about Luis Matos. He is 8 for his last 15 with 2 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. The guy right now, Luis Matos, right fielder, he's slashing 533, 588, slugging 1.200. Do not give that guy something to hit there. Cub fans know Willy Adames very well. He's 5 for his last 16 with 3 home runs, 3 RBI, slashing 313, 500, 875. And then we saw him, those are the 2 main guys that are really hot right now for them. But I wouldn't worry too much about a couple big names here. How about Rafael Devers? 2 for his last 18, 1 home run, 1 RBI, slashing 111, 273, 278. Heliot Ramos had that big hit, but he was 2 for his last 20. Those 2 RBIs he got were huge, slashing 100, 143, 150. And their second baseman, Christian Kess, is 1 for his last 14 with 9 strikeouts to 1 walk, slashing .071, .133, .071.
All right, prediction time, Crawly. You'll go first this time since you're the big winner with the sweep prediction last time.
Yeah, like I said, I think the Cubs take 2 out of 3. I think they take those first 2, but fall to Logan Webb. But again, taking 2 out of 3 in San Francisco and 3 out of 3 at LA, you take that every day of the week.
All right, I'm going to go 2 out of 3 as well. I'm a little worried about that middle game facing the lefty. Worried about the lineup a little bit. Worried about Colin Ray on the road. But Colin Ray has been that unsung hero. Everybody, and I'm the first one, has been doubting him all year, and all he's done is deliver. All right, Crawly, that's a wrap. Don't forget to listen, down the review, subscribe to the Fly the W podcast. If you have any questions, please email us. We'll give you an answer. Crawly's Clubhouse, gmail.com. You can watch us by subscribing to the Crawly's Clubhouse YouTube page. All right, Crawly, lots of late nights. We'll be reviewing the games early on the Mully and Haw show, and we'll get back at it soon. There'll be no rest, though, because Friday the Cubs go to Colorado to take on the Rockies.
This is going to be fun when you take a look at the defense. I can't wait to see PCA and Kyle Tucker and those big next 2 outfields that we got. Get the coffee ready. It is going to be rough. Thanks for everybody that listening. Mike Prasnowski, Prasmaster, just great guy. Larry Beck is coming in, jumping in. We appreciate everything. Again, get that coffee ready. Let's get another sweep. Go Cubs!
It's all over.